Hey everyone. Today on Terminal 2W, bulkhead seating. Coming up. I'm Greg Robinson and welcome to Terminal 2W. I want to talk a minute about the myth of bulkhead seating. Bulkhead seating for 40, 50, 60 years has been the position of choice by many veteran travelers around the world. And you'll still often hear people talking about it. I have a father who prized it until very recently himself. However, for 80% of you out there, I'm not sure it's your best position. Now, mind you, body shape and activities that you want to do on a plane will determine a lot about what your comfort is on any particular seat. And for a bulkhead seat for a 5 foot tall woman who's slender and wants to read a book, that might actually be the prime seat. However, for people who are larger, people who are taller, such as myself, and I'm 6'2" with long legs and a big body, bulkhead seating isn't my favorite place to be. Let's talk why. First of all, it's about comfort. When I've been traveling across the world, one of the things that I've learned is I can do 3 or 4 hours in a 29-inch seat pitch aircraft and do it comfortably if I have a seat that's wide enough to allow me to flex, change my posture, and, basically squirm around a little bit. However, when that seat's narrower, it becomes much more constrained, and I actually find myself less and less comfortable. And here's why. Bulkhead seats usually have tray tables inside their arms, which reduces the seat width by about an inch. And as we've all learned, and when it comes to airline seating, an inch matters. In addition, on an international flight, the in-flight entertainment is often embodied in those seat arms, and that too takes up valuable space in the width of the seat. Furthermore, getting up and egressing from those seats, getting up from a window seat and a middle seat in particular in the bulkhead position, can often be difficult because there's a wall in front of you and you don't have a space for you to stand erect, get your balance, and exit that row. For those of you who sit on an aisle seat in the bulkhead, you probably learned that you're often the target of choice for people to bump into you, particularly if you're that first aisle seat in economy at the bulkhead. I know that I've suffered many a bruise by watching 140 people walk past me and into me as they seek their own seats. And it's not something anybody's doing intentionally. It's just a target of choice for those who are trying to move past you. Now, let's also talk about convenience. In addition to comfort, convenience is important to enjoying your trip. And those bulkhead seats usually have overhead compartments that are occupied by airplane equipment. That means there's little or no space for you to put your luggage into. And since there's no seat in front of you, there's no seat in front of you to store your personal items. And that leaves you competing for overhead space with the rows behind you, or competing for space under your own seat with the person who's sitting behind you and feels that they're entitled to that space. So, from a perspective of who suffers the most, I would argue that 80% of the people out there probably wouldn't be as comfortable in the bulkhead seat as they might be in a different position in the plane. And that really is around comfort, convenience, and the ability to move about, particularly on longer flights. Obviously, anybody can make do with anything for an hour or 2 hours on a plane, but as those hours grow, comfort and convenience become more and more important. And how you exit that plane, the kind of mood you're in, it often depends on your experience in that seat. That's all I have today. And remember, if you take travel advice from me, you're going to probably end up on an airplane.